So it's been a little while since I've added a watch to my collection. Today I have a really weird watch to show you guys. It's the latest addition to my collection, and yes, it's a Romain Jerome. Now, a lot of people do not like this brand. I am actually one of those people. However, there are two watches in the lineup from RJ that I absolutely love, and there are very good reasons why I love this watch. We're gonna flip the camera, we're gonna take a look at this watch, a very detailed look at the watch. We're gonna talk about why it's a special watch and who actually put this watch together for Romain Jerome and why it's an important watch, why it's a really cool watch, especially for the prices that they are going for right now. So let's flip the camera, let's take a really in-depth look at this watch. So Romain Jerome, not the most respected name in the watch industry. However, when they were in business, and they have gone out of business, they went out of business during COVID, they did make two pretty amazing watches, the Spacecraft and the Subcraft. These were in collaboration with icons of the watch industry. So the Spacecraft, the watch that we're about to take a look at, was in collaboration with Giroud, who is a designer. He designed a lot of the mb&f watches that we know and love, the mb&f horological machines and their legacy machines. He also did designs for Vacheron. He designed the new Mad 1, the first Mad 1 and the second Mad 1, so the blue and the red. So a lot of really cool watches. He did a lot of designs for many other brands as well. He has a website that basically lists all of them, and he is really an icon of the watch industry. And then a movement manufacturer called AGENHOR. Now, I'm not sure if I'm actually saying that correctly. It's AGENHOR or AGENHOR, something like that, but they designed the movements that go into Singer Reimagined. Fabergé also used them. I believe H. Moser used them in their chronographs as well. They make some pretty incredible movements, and they've also made movements for mb&f. So again, you can see a theme here. So here's the watch. It is a driver's watch. It looks a lot like a watch that was actually released by mb&f, the HM5, and that's because this was being designed by Giroud at the same time he was designing that watch, the HM5. So obviously a little bit of similarities between the two. So this is an aluminum box. I believe it's aluminum. You get a little aluminum case in here which has the cards. It's a little cutout area that says RJ on there, and then you get a thumb drive. So interesting packaging for a very interesting watch. Heavy, made out of metal, kind of interesting, I guess. And here's the watch. So you can see immediately there is a minute track that is below this sapphire crystal. It's a beveled piece of sapphire crystal. So this is sort of the top of the watch. Then you have these little cutouts of titanium. There is a mid area of the case. It's sort of a chassis case, very similar again to the HM5, which is also built on sort of a chassis. There's the movement inside. The movement is actually very special as well. The movement that was designed by AGENHOR is sort of a module that uses an ETA 2892. But if you ever see the movement, and I'll throw a picture of the movement up, it's a really interesting looking movement. It sort of looks like a spaceship also, so I think that's kind of what they were going for. They used it in the Subcraft as well. It's a linear retrograde jump hour, and we'll talk about that in just a minute as well. The back of the watch is also very interesting. You have that same crease that goes along the top of the watch. You have these V's back here. It gives you the limited edition number. These were all limited editions of 99. They did not make a lot of these, but I was able to actually buy this as new because these were not very popular. I don't think a lot of people know a lot about these watches, and that could be the reason why. And then here's the front of the watch. So the front of the watch is a curved piece of sapphire. It's a very odd shape as well, and you can see it's 5 right there. And then you can see the time is basically 5:53. So you're never going to really get a very accurate reading of the time on this because obviously you just have running minutes here. You don't have seconds, and it's really hard to see those minutes. So it's not really the best watch if you need to know an accurate telling of the time. A lot of people will not like that. I don't mind it. It's more of an artistic statement here. I think it looks very, very good and is very interesting. And that's kind of the reason why I like it. And I really love the people who actually put this watch together. So you can see this crease that goes along the entire case as well. Like I said, this is sort of a chassis. You can see the back of the case. This is a line of grade 5 titanium. I believe this is DLC coated titanium that's on either side, and then it all fits together like a sandwich, and the movement is in the middle. Very, very cool. So it is a linear retrograde jump hour. So it does have a screwed in crown, which is DLC coated as well. So I will pop the crown, and it's screwed down. I don't know why. I guess because it's sitting on top of the case, and I guess they want to make sure that it is water resistant. And I don't think it's, I think it only has like 50 meters of water resistance, so it doesn't really make that much difference, but there you go. And then you can see, as I advance the time, so right now we're at 55, as I advance it towards 60, you're going to see it jump to 6. And then I can keep on advancing, and it'll jump to 7, 8, 9, and then it gets weird because 10 is sort of scrunched together. So it looks like a 1 and a 0 together. Same thing for 11 is actually a lot more normal, and then 12 is not, because it's sort of a 1 sitting inside of a 2, and then retrograde. Once you hit that, it goes all the way back to 1. So that's really it. Really a very cool watch, and I don't know if there are a lot of retrograde linear movement, jump hour movements like this out there. It is built on a 2892, an ETA 2892, so it's not the most high grade base movement for it, but they did make a very high grade module that sits on top. So it's a very interesting watch. It's a driver's watch, and obviously it's inspired by Spaceship, so it does look like a sort of futuristic shuttle. I think it really does work. There's the Subcraft, which also sort of looks like, I guess they were going for a sub, I want to say, but a nice strap on here. It's rubber lined, and it's a crocodile strap, and it's just rubber lined. Very, very thin. It's going to be really hard to find a strap for this if I want to replace it. And I want to put a fabric strap on here because I think it would look cooler. But that's just me. And then you have this really nice grade 5 titanium buckle, which has all these facets on it. Just a really beautiful buckle on here. It's signed on the underside, which I really like. Sort of very understated. I don't like that it says RJ there, and it also says RJ on the dial itself. I'll do close-ups of all of this so you can see what I'm talking about. I don't like those aspects of the watch. However, everything else I really love about this watch. I love the crease down the middle. They made a few other versions. I think they made an all-black version, then they made one with these little cutout areas. These are all individually placed on here. Those are in carbon fiber. I didn't really like that version. I did like the black version a lot. And I think those were limited to like 25 watches. So they were really very limited. So there is Lume on this watch. So we're going to do a Lume shot. But quickly, I'm going to throw it on my wrist. I'm going to talk about the price on this watch. Now, obviously, they're out of business. They're no longer making these watches. They were already very, very limited. So they are all basically sold out. You can buy these on eBay. Obviously, you guys know where I bought this. I bought this on eBay. So we'll talk about that in just a second. But today, on my wrist, I have the purchase that I made before this purchase, I believe. This is my Grand Seiko Spring Drive chronograph. Just an awesome watch. Also pretty large, 43 millimeters, but it wears really nicely on my wrist. Actually, before we throw it on my wrist, let me just do quick measurements for you guys. So it's got odd measurements. So at the widest portion of the watch, like at the edge of the watch, it's like 42.8 millimeters, 42.5 millimeters, something like that. And then at the thinnest area of the watch, it's 34.1 millimeters. It's thick at one end and thinner at the other. So if you're catching the lugs, it's around 17 millimeters thick on the thick side. And then on the thinner side, it's around 11.7 millimeters thick. So very odd shape. Obviously, you could see that it's sort of a wedge shape. So that's what you're getting from here. And then The lug to lug is actually very compact, and the entire watch, if we measure it, because you can't really get the lug itself, but the entire effective lug to lug is probably in the neighborhood of 49.8. The lugs itself, if we can grab them, which is very hard, I'm getting around 45 millimeters, somewhere around there. So a very odd shape, a very odd way to measure this watch. You get a big crown though, and it's very grippy, and it does screw down, as I mentioned, and it's also very hard to measure, but there you go, 6.9 millimeters. Interesting shape, really just a very interesting watch. It's a driver's watch. So here's the thing, when you're driving, these are never practical. Somehow driver's watches are never really that practical, so it's really hard to see the time if you're driving. You will be able to see the hour, but it depends on the lighting. So you can see it's not that visible. You can see there's a little red here. That's the one. It says it's 1 o'clock. Flip it over and you're looking down at it, and it's really hard to see that it's just a little past 1:05. So it's probably like 1:06 or 1:07. And like I said, I have the watch pretty far away from me, so I can't actually see the exact number. You have to really look very closely. You can see the little hash. You're never going to know the exact second because you don't have a running seconds. But here it is on my 7.5-inch wrist. Really interesting, cool watch. Now these originally retailed for $25,000. They did sell off when they went out of business, and I saw these selling as low as $3,000, and I kicked myself for not buying one then, and then they steadily have gone up. Now I have not seen a Subcraft for sale in a while. I have seen Spacecrafts, and that's the one that I wanted anyway, so I'm happy that I was able to get one. And these sell for around $5,000 now. On eBay, they're probably in the $10,000 range. I'm not sure you should pay that. I think the right price for this watch is $5,000, considering the amount of work that goes into this watch. It is pretty damn cool. Now you can get these serviced if you want to get them serviced. AGENHOR, obviously, is still in business and will be for hopefully a very long time. So they will service this watch, and that's really it. And in fact, Romain Jerome are still in business, and I believe they will repair these watches as well, because they are still selling watches on their website. So technically they are out of business, but I believe they are selling the stock that they have, and they will service those watches through other channels. So they will take service, I believe, as well. At least that's what I've heard. Really quickly, I'm gonna charge the watch. It's going to take a lot of charging because it really isn't very good lume, because I've already tested it out. But we'll charge the watch and we'll do a quick lume shot so you guys can see what I am talking about. But these numbers are lumed, and then the minute track up here is also lumed. Not very brightly, but let's take a look. Okay, well, the lume is interesting on this watch. It's not liberally applied. You can see here it's 6. And then you can see the track here, but as the minutes progress, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, the moment the minutes start progressing, you're not gonna have lume anymore. However, what is cool about it is when it does jump, and you're gonna see it's gonna jump to 7, that is lume because it's just a little bar of lume. And as you get back to the minutes that were lumed, there they are. That's really it. So, not actually a practical application for lume. Again, this is not a practical watch, so if you are looking for a very accurate reading of the time, this is not the watch for you. It's more of a statement piece, something very interesting, something that a watch geek will love. And I am a watch geek. I absolutely love this watch. You can see it's faded already. It basically fades immediately. The lume on here, not liberally applied either. Whatever. I think it's a really cool watch. Obviously, I really like it. And you guys understand that I really love the HM5, and I don't want to spend $65,000 on a watch, so this is kind of the next best thing for me. Anyway, tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. What do you think of this watch? What do you think of the collaboration? What do you think of Romain Jerome? What do you think of this watch sitting within the Romain Jerome sort of realm of watches? I understand that a lot of people hate Romain Jerome with very good reason, but I think these are very cool, especially this and the Subcraft. Obviously the Subcraft designed by Alan Silberstein, and again, the same movement manufacturer. So a different shape, but a very different look. A different shape, different look, but the same functionality. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is WatchChrisBlog, all one word. I have some links in the description. Those links are to Amazon. If you click those links and buy anything, it helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. However, I very much appreciate it. Anyway, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.